Al-Halkas bekam Ayini, was in der Gehe mit Anossi bei Israel. Was nicht Rachman al-Islam zu sagen, als gewähnt Anossi beover. Nur Hu Bachaim, der Fall war Zari Bachaim. Bischaß sie doch Sidim, was lernen in seine Chsidis. Und tu in seine normale, seine Takonis, ist Hu Bachaim Mamosh, Dole Matro Masorot Tvochim. Es werde Scheiles was andere fragen, wie die Gemorre beworben zu stehen und bringt das Arop. Vechi birdi, chonto chantai vechulu, so gewähren alle Weihe, chonto chantai vechulu, weiß das die Gemorre und bringt das Arop und es der Maskone ist, aber soll wissen sein, Ahu Bachai. Und Kolzmann ist Zari Bachai, aber das ist sich sein, bis Moscheech hat kommen. Und noch Moscheech kommen, wird man lernen, seine Chsidis, und sie wird sein, weil Kitze verrannen, der Sheikh Nofor, wie Ireno Bidrocha, wasche Hironu, wie Nilcho, wie Chesam, Netzach, Sella, Wort, Afal Pi, was es ist, sein, der Limo, der Teire, Teire Chadosh, mit Pi, Moscheech, Zitkenu, ביחד עם זה, jeder Chossid wird gehen mit seinem Reb. Und wir alle und jeder von uns werden gehen mit unserem Reb, mit Neside Reino. Und in einem Leben, was schön ist Bachayim. Und sie kämen wollen nicht gewähren der Ingen. Was man kann fragen und man fragt, wie ich bin die. Chonto Chantayim hat gesagt, Kaddish v'chule, v'kayesi b'zeh, hat das die Gemorre gewusst und die Gemorre hat das Aro gebracht und hat auch gepasst, und man soll wissen sein, Ahu Bachayim und Zari Bachayim mit allen Unionen, was sollen dazu als Scheich ist. Der Ried, wo der Ewigster hat ihm ausgeklebt und hat ihm gemacht, dass soll sein der, was vereinzigt alle Jeden von dem Dor, wo das ist der Nossi Hador, Hanossi Hu Hakeil, Teres Emme sagt, dass der Nossi vereinzigt in sich, Hakeil, alle Jeden von klein bis groß, was gefunden sich in sein Dor, hat geheißen verschreiben und notdrucken und fassen sei, verschiedene Takonis, und befragt die Maimorim seine, die Teere seine, was in See hat gelebt und sich in See hereingelegt, was hat die alle Sachen, hört mir sich und man redet wegen See und man lebt in See, verstärkt das noch mehr, wie bald als Zari Bachai, man lebt mit seinen Teeren und mit seinen Takonis und mit seinen Schlichus, mit alle seinen Schlichus, und das Gufe im Madgisch, als Hu Bachaim, als lebt zwischen uns und noch mehr in uns und lebt in Asami Neufen, bis wann als wird der Rieker und alle übrige Unionen und Menschen werden seine Schluchim mit dem Schuss, aber wird Schluche Shalodom Kemeise. Friede Schono Beschono, wird noch mehr lebendiger und noch mehr starker und noch mehr aktiv zwischen uns und bei uns und durch uns bei jeder Jeden und bei allen Jeden, bis in der ganzen Welt.
You want to tell the Rebbe the words of the new song that we're singing with Mashiach, right? So I'm just going to read him. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Okay? We
Inyana Geula Mashiach. The prophet Yeshaya is also called the prophet of the redemption because he is the prophet that speaks the most about Mashiach in his prophecies. In one of Yeshaya's prophecies about the end of exile and the beginning of the redemption, he tells us about how we will go out of exile. Ki v'simcha seitzeyu. You will go out of exile with joy, u'v'shalom tuvalun, and you will be brought back to the land of Israel in a way of peace. Heharim v'agvois, the mountains and the hills, yivtzechu lefnechem rina, will burst into song before you. The chalatzei asada, and all of the trees of the field, yimchau chaf, will clap their hands. Since this will be good for the people living there, they will start to sing and clap their hands. The Rebbe would finish off Farbrengens with singing this song. We want Mashiach now.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi Munitz.
L'chaim. As we stand together on Gimmel Tammuz, I want to start with a story of the Rebbe that happened to my brother. We lived in Australia, and when my brother was 2 years old, he came with my mother to the Rebbe for a visit. And in those days, the Rebbe would daven mincha in 770 in the Zal upstairs. So if you can picture, you're on Eastern Parkway, and you go up the stairs to the main entrance of 770. You stand in that little hallway over there where the Rebbe gives dollars. On your left is Gan Eden HaTachton, the hallway in front of the Rebbe's room and the Rebbe's room. On your right-hand side is the Zal upstairs where the Bachrim learn, and that's where the Rebbe would come to daven mincha, like in those days. Before the Rebbe would go into the Zal for davening, where the Rebbe would come out of his room, pass through the hallway over there, and go into the Zal, the Rebbe would give coins for tzedakah to the children that were there. If you've ever noticed, there's a tzedakah pushka there on the wall before you walk into the Zal. On the wall over there, there's a pushka, and the Rebbe would give the children coins, and they would put it in the pushka. What if you want to keep the coin that the Rebbe gave you? So you would come with your own coin prepared that you could put in the pushka, and then you could keep the coin that the Rebbe gave you. Like the Rebbe said many times, when the Rebbe gives dollars, the dollar is to give to tzedakah, but if you want, you can give a different dollar to tzedakah and keep the one that Rebbe gave you. So my mother came with my brother, who was 2 years old, to the Rebbe for 10 or 14 days, and she wanted my brother to be able to have the most opportunity of being with the Rebbe, so she would come to be there before Mincha when the Rebbe gave the coins. My brother would stand there with my mother, and the Rebbe would give the coins. One day, it was a Wednesday, and the Rebbe came, the Rebbe gave my brother a coin, and then the Rebbe went to daven mincha. After the Rebbe had already gone, another boy showed up. Now this was a boy who went to public school, and he came with his teacher from the release time. On Wednesdays, they would be taken out of school for an hour to learn about Yiddishkeit. It's called release time. Also one of the Pa'ulas that the Frierdiker Rebbe started in America. And when the boy came in and he realized that he missed his chance to get a coin from the Rebbe, he was very, very upset. He was devastated. And my mother saw that was going on. And she said, this boy, who knows? He came from public school to get a coin from the Rebbe. Who knows if he'll ever get another chance to be able to get a coin? So my mother took the coin that my brother had just got and gave it to the boy and said, this is a coin from the Rebbe, it's for you. But the story did not end there. The next day, my brother came again to get a coin from the Rebbe and so on. On the last day before they were going back to Australia, again, this is the last time, my brother is there with my mother. The Rebbe came out, and the Rebbe started giving the coins, and the Rebbe gave my brother a coin. And then the Rebbe gave to other children that were there the coins. And then the Rebbe turned back to my brother, reached out to give him another coin. And my mother was thinking he already got. The Rebbe's giving you a coin. So he got another coin from the Rebbe. Afterwards, my mother realized he had given his coin to another boy. The Rebbe gave him another coin back. When you give to somebody else, the Rebbe will make sure that you get what you need. The Rebbe very much cherished the children, holds the children very dearly, as we see that the Rebbe started Tzivis Hashem for children. There were always big chassidim that were known as the Rebbe's soldiers in each generation. The Rebbe Rashab made a yeshiva for Bachrim that he called the soldiers of Chayolei Beis David. And our Rebbe, almost 40 years ago, started Tzivos Hashem, a special army for children. Because the power that the children have is something that the Rebbe teaches us and wants us to do. So what is it that we can learn from the Rebbe? Many things, of course. But I want to point out stories that happened that we know what the Rebbe did when the Rebbe was a child. There are a few famous stories you may have heard. The story of when there was a pogrom, when the Rebbe was very young, and there was never a pogrom. It was very dangerous. The Goyim were going around looting and all those things. And the Yidden went to hide in a basement somewhere, in a cellar. They did not want anybody to know where they were. So everybody was being quiet. But what happens when the little children get a little scared or a little kvetchy, they start crying. And if they start crying, there's going to be noise. And everybody was very worried. What do we do? These children are making noise. And then they saw that a young boy, our Rebbe, was going around and calming down the children. He gave this one a candy. He calmed this one down. And the Rebbe was a young, very young child at the time. The story about the boy that was drowning and the Rebbe went into the river to save him. These are stories that happened with the Rebbe when the Rebbe was a young boy. And we see the Avas Yisrael, the looking out for somebody else first, that the Rebbe did. There's another story that the Rebbe was a little boy, I think 2 or 3 years old, and there was a minyan in the house. And the Rebbe came out and started answering Amen or Baruch Hu with the minyan. And then Rebbe Tzanchana quickly took him away to the other room. She didn't want there should be Chas v'Shalom any Ein Hara. Avos Yisrael is something that the Rebbe taught us, teaches us, especially for children, especially many of the Sichos for Tzivos Hashem, where the Rebbe speaks about how we should share with our friends. There was a boy who was, when he was almost 12 years old, he went into a yechidus with the Rebbe. He lived in a different state. He went back home, and on Sukkot, he and his family had a sukkah, and he invited friends that he had who did not necessarily have their own sukkah to come with him. He taught them how to make a bracha on the Lulav and Esrei. He gave them something to eat in the sukkah and taught them to make the brachas on the Zaynis, on the Yeshiva Sukkah. And he wrote this to the Rebbe. And a few days after Simchas Torah, the Rebbe took his time to write a letter to this boy saying, I was very happy to hear this, that you were a living example to your friends and you invited them in and taught them how to do these mitzvahs. We each have friends These days, a lot of people are spending a lot of time at home. We have brothers, sisters, siblings. And this lesson of Avos Yisrael is a very important one for us. We see the Rebbe's Avos Yisrael, and we see from the story I first said that you don't lose out. Don't worry. By sharing with somebody else, you don't lose out.
ברכה לסבא שלי. נו, תגיד, כמובן, תגיד.
שיהיה לסבתא שלי רפואה שלמה, החלמה מהירה ברחוב החולים.
אמן.
תודה.
סבבה. אוקיי.
זה תגיד כל יוגב.
What did you say, Steve?
I don't want any more bad dreams.
Sie will nicht gemerken, schlechte Chaleimes.
Ask your mother to check the mezuzah in your room.
Okay.
That will help to your Chaleim. Your dream. Thank you. Thank you very much. How come you have so much money?
What do you say?
Think for yourself.
Quick, very quickly. What do you want to tell them? That's enough. That's enough.
God Almighty bless you.
Think for yourself.
I have your picture and I own
Well, measure is met uit mijn neus op bij je lang. Thank you.
I was in Israel.
Thank you very much. In Tvari?
Hoe zullen we dat hebben?
Yeah. You brought the picture. That's about the pictures.
Thank you.
זה בשבילי, הצלחה רבה ותודה רבה. את רוצה הבאת את זה?
את הבאת את זה בשביל הרבי.
זה בשביל המתנה.
קחי עוד.
זה בשביל המתנה. את הבאת את המתנה הזו. גם כן, ככה והצלחה בשביל המתנה. טובה. הצלחה רבה.
So today, on Gimmel Tammuz, a day when we think we want to connect to the Rebbe. How do we connect to the Rebbe? One way is by doing what the Rebbe does. There's a story where a chassid came into the Rebbe and he said, Rebbe, I want to be Mekush, I want to be connected to the Rebbe. And the Rebbe said, if you want to be connected to me, do what I do. When I walk in the street, I review Tanya Baal Peh. So if you will say Tanya Baal Peh while you're walking the street, you will be connected to me. This, by the way, connects also with the story of the Frierdiker Rebbe, whose Geula of Yud Beis Tammuz started on Gimmel Tammuz, when the Frierdiker Rebbe was redeemed from his being in prison. And there's a story about the first time that the Frierdiker Rebbe was in jail. When he was a young boy, the story when he was going in the marketplace, and there was a policeman who was dealing harshly with a Jewish man, and the Frierdiker Rebbe went to save this Jewish man, this Yid, from the policeman, and then he took the Frierdiker Rebbe to jail. And what did the Frierdiker Rebbe do when he was in the jail? He reviewed Mishnayos Baal Peh. And soon after, when they realized what was happening and the Rebbe was freed, and they saw the calf in the cell also, which was the policeman had stolen, and he wanted to blame the Yid. As you probably know the story. And the Rebbe learns when the Sikha to children, the Rebbe says a few stories we learn, lessons that we can learn from this story. One of them is the Avos Yisrael again. That the Frierdiker Rebbe as a child sought to stand up to help this fellow Yid. And another one is that he went to say Mishnayos Baal Peh. And the Rebbe Rashab, his father, pointed out to him, he said, look at the difference between you and the Havil the cow. The calf was in the jail, you were in the jail. But by you saying Mishnayos Baal Peh, you showed that you're a Yid, you showed how you're better, higher than the animal. So the Avos Yisrael that the Rebbe has, that the Rebbe gives his time to children especially. As we said, the story with giving the nickels to the children, with giving the rallies to children. And the Rebbe answered children. When children would report their good news to the Rebbe was very happy. There's a story when there was a boy in Oli Torah, and he heard that the Bachrim and the Chassidim were making hachlatas, and they were saying good news to the Rebbe because they wanted the Rebbe to feel better. And this boy decided that he's going to make hachlata. That every morning he says brachas, but sometimes he just says the brachas, mumbling it by heart, looking at something else while he's saying the brachas. And he decided, or even sometimes he would be late, so on his way to yeshiva, he would say brachas. And he decided that what he's going to do for his achlata, he's going to say brachas from a siddur. When you daven from a siddur, you are more concentrated. You're making sure you say the words correctly and so on. And he wrote this to the Rebbe that I'm going to say brachas from the siddur. And the Rebbe answered to this, Kamayim Karim al Nefesh Hayefa. You have made me feel so good, like when there's a person who's hot and thirsty, and you give him some cold water. This is the way you've made me feel, said the Rebbe to this boy. So let us take a hachlata to add in the things that Rebbe wants us to do, especially in the Avos Yisrael, reaching out to a friend of ours, being connected to the Rebbe, doing what he does, having Avos Yisrael. Avos Yisrael means helping someone physically, something they need, begashmias, and also beruchnias. If someone needs help in their learning, when we go mivtzayim, all of these things are Avos Yisrael. And let us, by us connecting to the Rebbe, we should, doing what the Rebbe wants, we should merit to be able to see the Rebbe, the coming of Mashiach, and the Rebbe taking us out of Golus. L'chaim.
Zari Bachai, Mafru Bachai, Abishas Mize, as Midav bringen a Reihe, wie sie 40 Huf Zare, wie sie 40 Huf seine Talmidi, die was sich gewöhnt, haben a Spur von ihm direkt, oder durch seine Svorim, oder durch seine Maimorim, und unter dem Talmizet Azari Bachai, a die Talmidim seiner Spur wirkt und sie ist lebendig, wie sie nach Nefma sie in der Chaye. Sie macht lebendig herum sich, unter dem ist auf Huba Chaye. Die Gemorde darf nicht bringen, Kelaya, als Janke, wie gewähnt bei Chayim Belam Habo, das redet sich wegen Chayim Belam Hazeh. demut is allein echid bachayim ve'elam hazeh ve'adrab. Sie bejesser seis und bejesser eis, als seht, was die, was seinen Gewinn Sare bechayim chayosi gealmodei, seine Mamschich und setzen vor, die Stadlus, auf versprechten Jahadlus, Idischkeit, Teru und Mitzvah. Und auf Tondos mit Anefen, bedarke Neam und bedarke Scholem, aber mit dem Teke, mit der Emesse Starkheit, und mit Anefen auf nicht mitwerden, Tondos einmal und ein zweiten Mal, wie viel Mal, sie wird verleihen, bis wann es eine sichere Sache, als mit Matzliach, oder demut ist auf Huba Chayim. Demut ist allein dort zusammen mit ihm, was bleiben sich zusammen. Und ist mäßig gehe durch den Teilung, was mir verschafft, der Neshama. Ist wünscht und bemehle echt mäßig gehe die Gashmis und der Ruchnis.
Thank you, Rabbi Heidingsfeld, for those hartzike Werter. Certainly we will take what you Farbrengen with, make it part of our lives, the Avas Yisrael, and certainly, just like the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed because of Sinas Chinam, and the Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt through Avas Chinam, we certainly know that following and learning from the Rebbe, increasing our Avas Yisrael, will tip that scale, bring about the Geula Shlema. Before we finish our rally, let us take a moment, think of others, another act of Avos Yisrael, by saying Tehillim for all those who need a refuah shlema, including Chaim Shner Zalman Yehuda ben Hindu Yecheved. Everyone say it together with me. Lam natzeyach mizmer leDavid, yancho Adonai b'yom tzara, yisagev Hashem Elohei Yaakov, yishlach ezrecha mikodesh umitzion yisadeka, yizkor kol minchaisecha ve'lascha yidash nesela, Yiten lecha chilvavecha v'chol atzoscha yimalei, niraneno b'yeshuasecha u'v'shem Eloheinu nidegoel, Yimalei Adonai kol mishaloisecha, ato yodati ki hoshia Adonai mishichoi, yanehu mishmei kodeshoi b'gvureis yesha yeminoi, eile vorechev, v'eile v'asusim, v'anachnu b'shem Adonai Eloheinu nazkir, himakor'u v'nafalu v'anachnu kamnu v'anisoidod, Adonai hoshia, Hamelech Yaneinu v'yem koreinu. Torah we did, Tefillah we did, Tzedakah. Take some coins, put them in the pushka, and we will have done Torah, Tefillah, Tzedakah, which will certainly bring about the Geula. Before we finish today's rally, it's only apropos that we sing a niggin led by the Rebbe's Chazan and Rabbi Teleshevsky, Chazan Teleshevsky, take it away.
Hashem Eloheinu v'Elohei Avo Yisraelu.
A beautiful rally, Talmidim. Certainly, we have what to take with. Take it. Make it part of your life. Think of something you're going to do today. And the Avos Yisrael. One thing. Beautiful rally we had today. Talmidim, Chayolim. Take something from today's rally. The message of Avos Yisrael. The message of making the Rebbe part of our lives. Doing something. Learning from the Rebbe. Think of something you're going to do today. Do it today. Don't think about it for the rest of your life. Think today. What am I going to do today? Do something today in honor of the Rebbe. And then when tomorrow comes, do tomorrow. Take one day at a time. That smile that the Rebbe is giving us is showing how proud he is of you. Because this is what's going to bring about the Geula Shlema. We'll be reunited with the Rebbe in a physical manner. The Rebbe will take us out of Golus, bring us to the Geula Shlema with the coming of Mashiach now. Everyone together. 1, 2, 3. We want Mashiach now.